Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of whatever this is. The channel name is Weekly Allowance. Welcome to another episode of Weekly Allowance. Does that sound right? You'd think I know what I'm doing after all this time, but you'd be wrong. Ignore the light glare on the packaging. It's not there. You don't see it, and neither do I, and we're all happier that way. Today I am looking at the Marvel Legends Sylvie and Mobius. I'm doing them both even though they are not in the same wave. They go together, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do them both at the same time, and then I'll do the rest of the what if wave later. It's just I had Mobius, I had Sylvie, and I thought,
same thing?
Standard. Marvel Legends packaging. Matte black box, window to see what's going on inside. Really, really nice illustrations on the side. I like these illustrations a lot. They're my favorite part of the packaging. So the backs here differ just because this one was in a wave and this one was not. So on Sylvie's we have character blurb, illustration, everything the wave came with, and an image of the Build-A-Figure. For Mobius we have all that stuff without any wave information or Build-A-Figure because he's just him. He is just him. Sometimes things are the way they are because that's how they are. Okay, I'm gonna do Mobius first, because he's probably going to be pretty similar to Loki, who I've already opened. And I don't know if it seems like I'm slurring my words. I promise you I'm not drunk. I do have a headache though, and I did just eat a piece of string cheese. That might have something to do with it.
Man, I love string cheese.
For Mobius we have this background, which was the same background we saw on the Loki toy. Time Variance Authority for all time always. Need a patch with that on it. That would be super sweet. So Mobius was a character in the show that I really liked, and I'm going to hazard a guess and say that a lot of people really liked him because Owen Wilson. He doesn't make quite as an impact in action figure form just because, you know, dude in a suit. That's pretty much all he is. Cooler in the show because we get to see his actions in plastic format. He is just a little bit lackluster because just a guy. I feel like the likeness to Owen Wilson is serviceable, if not actually pretty good. I'm just still not used to seeing him as Mobius because it looks so different than his usual look. I don't know, I'm still thinking of him from like Night at the Museum or Zoolander. But yeah, the face sculpt here is really nice. They even have the detail of his broken nose. Beautiful hair. The hair of a silver fox. It looks a little bit thick. You can really tell that it's a whole separate piece. So in the Loki TV show toy, we saw that Loki was reused from Nick Fury because he had the holsters here. Mobius does not have that. He has just a plain white shirt underneath. Really adorable square TVA tie. Super fashionable belt buckle. I really want that buckle. I don't wear belts, but I might start. Love the wrinkles in these pants, all the way down to these very nice shoes. Do TVA agents have a clothing allotment, or are they just given the clothes that they wear? I assume they're just given the clothes. Do they make money? Do they partake in leisurely activities? We know this poor guy never got to ride a jet ski, at least not within the parameters of the show. I demand jet ski justice for Mobius. I'm imagining there's going to be the typical Marvel Legends range of movement with him. Ooh, he's a little stiff in some areas. Rotation on the shoulder, bicep swivel, double elbow, slight crunch on the chest, a little bit of rotation there too. We also have rotation at the wrist. Wrist? Waist. That's a whole entirely separate part of the body. Very different. They do both start with W though. Leg arc out to the side. Pretty good backward movement, but his butt isn't sculpted to be insanely large, so that doesn't get in the way. Swivel at the thigh. Double knee, and pin and rocker on the feet. Now Mobius will come with time baton? Is that what you call these? I'm just gonna call it a time baton. It's been a while since I've seen the show, so I've forgotten the names for like everything. Pretty lackluster piece of plastic until you get to the top here, and there's the fine detail of these kind of electrode pieces. Really nicely detailed and painted copper, which looks super neat. He also comes with this thing I forgot the name of. God, what did they call it in the show? Time pad? Tim pad? Something like that. It's a little phone tablet thingy. I really like the detail that it lifts up into this black screen and then the controls underneath. Some really tiny detail there too. A lot of really precise paintwork. How they do that? Moving on to Sylvie. Her packaging has the same Time Variance Authority background for all time always. So since she's part of a wave, she will come with the Build-A-Figure piece, which is the Watcher's cape, which looks really cool. But we aren't talking about that in this video. That will be for a future video. I will assemble the Watcher, tell you what I think, and I'm sure everyone will just be on the edge of their seats. Alright, so here is Sylvie. Man, if you asked me if I thought that the Loki series would turn into like a self-cessed love story, I would have said, what? But then it did. I don't have a problem with that. It makes sense to me. Also, Sylvie's kind of a badass, so she might be responsible for destroying the multiverse. Whatever. I'd say that there are a lot of people responsible for that. I feel like the likeness on her isn't that great. I think in the show she was a little bit softer in the face area. Her eyes look a little manic here, but she does look cool. That is quite a hairstyle she's got going on though. It looked more natural in the show, I guess, but in action figure form, it just looks strange. I think I would have liked it more if her crown were a little bit more metallic-y. The one remaining horn is rubbery, so you don't poke yourself. So you can take her poncho thingy off. That's a separate piece. It just slips on and off her shoulders. I like her with it on because it gives her a distinct Loki feel. Loki feel is what they wanted to do to each other. Sorry. So when you get her out of the cloak, she looks so scrappy. She's just like covered from head to toe with black combat armor, kind of. Like she's ready to ruin someone's day, like they ruined hers. It's all fair. She's very thin, which is usual of the female Marvel Legends figures. I mean, it looks okay, but when you consider that this is armor and a bodysuit or whatever on top of a form, kind of loses its believability. Like, if she wasn't wearing clothes, then this body shape makes sense. But with the added padding of clothing, not really. I don't necessarily have a problem with that. It's just something I notice on a lot of these figures. I kind of wish there was more of a differentiation in color between her combat vest or whatever and her gauntlets and her boots, because they kind of blend in with the bodysuit underneath. I mean, these pieces of armor are like a greenish black, and this is more of a bluey black, but it's hard to see that. So it all kind of melts together. I'm being really picky about this toy. I'm just like listing things I see as I see them. Sweet boots though. These characters have such cool boots. And she's got a cute little belt. I don't know what the belt does though, because it doesn't seem to have anything attached to it. It's just kind of like, maybe for fashion.
Sylvie's so hot right now.
Okay, let's look at her articulation. She's got very thin limbs. Rotation there, elbow on a swivel and hinge on the wrist, a little bit of crunch at the chest, some rotation at the chest, none at the waist. Her leg can go up about there, and yep, see, that's the problem we run into with the female sculpts, is that their bottoms are a little bit more filled out than the males usually, so their legs can't really arc back in a straight line. Rotation at the thigh, double knee. Another rotation at the top of the boot, and then that same pin and rocker for the foot. So Sylvie also comes with some things. She comes with 2 extra pairs of hands for holding stuff. And she comes with her weapon, which I feel like we never really got a super good look at in the show, so it's cool to get a good look at it now. There's some kind of animal head on the pommel. From the illustration, it looks to be a boar or something. And I really love this color scheme. Bright, glowy green. I almost said orange. I don't know. I'm tired. So let's switch out one of these here hands. Which way do hands go? I don't know. I've had hands all my life and I still don't know which way they face. I'm going to put her cloak back on her just because I prefer that look. I like cloaks. They should make a comeback. I wouldn't say Sylvie is the best figure, but she is a cool character in the show, so I'm happy to have a figure of her. And the same with Mobius. I mean, he's a guy in a suit, but he's cool in the show. So he's cool enough for my shelf. Or the interior of a cardboard box. Until I make room on my shelf. I will say it is a little bit difficult to get Mobius to stand up on his own. I'm using blue tack right now. It can be done, of course, but you're going to have to finagle him around. See, he's already wanting to fall over. Come on, man. Just stand still, alright? Just be cool. Be cool about this. So here they are with Loki, who is significantly taller. But that makes sense, right? Loki's pretty tall, isn't he? Yeah, I think Tom Hiddleston is a pretty tall dude. Sylvie is a shorter lady, or she might be a tall lady and just looks short against Tom Hiddleston. And I don't know how tall Owen Wilson is, but he'd be taller if he didn't keep trying to fall over. It would have been cool to see a Kang figure too, but I mean, judging by the way things are going, I'm sure we'll get some Kangs and maybe even variants in the future. I would have also liked to have seen a Ravonna figure, but I understand if they don't put one out of her because she was kind of a minor character. Still important, but kind of minor. And of course, I think we can all say, collectively, where is Crocodile Loki? Give us that sweet scaly boy. So, that's it for this one. Likes and subscribes are very much appreciated. Comments are more than welcome. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Unless I meet my other self from a different dimension and they're hot and then we run off together. Because we fall in love. Just kidding. I don't think I could ever fall in love with any version of myself. God, that sounds sad, doesn't it? I'm gonna end it here before it gets any weirder. Bye! This is a sign.